So welcome to the Node.js Technical Steering Committee meeting for October 16th, 2024. We'll follow our standard approach of going through the issue that was generated in the repo, which was issue 1635. Before we dive into that, are there any announcements people would like to share?
Please remember that we are going to have a collaborator summit in Dublin in the next few weeks. It's going to go in November from the 7th and the 8th of November. Please, if you are interested to come, the registration, unfortunately, we won't have lunch for you, but if you're still interested to come, let us know. There is still space, even if the registration are closed. So in case, please reach out if you want to come and you were not in time for filling in the registrations.
Okay.
Also, we have just released Node.js 23.0.0, a new major version. This will replace Node.js 22 as a current release line, and 22 in the end of the month will be promoted to LTS, and Node.js 20 will be to the maintenance mode. So if you're running an old version of Node.js, please consider upgrading to 22.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, that's great news that's gone out. Hooray for the new major, and I know lots of people will be looking forward to that 22 LTS later in the month. Any other announcements before we move on?
I was just going to say, for 23, I need to fix up the index. We have updated it on the server, but Cloudflare is caching an old one, so I need to, after this meeting, figure out how to get in and purge that so that version managers will see 23, because at the moment they're not, because they're picking up the old index.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, any other announcement? Okay, if not, just the weekly reminder to nominate people for the Collaborator Spotlight. If you see anybody who's doing some good things in the project, please nominate them for that spotlight. On to CPC and board meeting updates. I guess, Joe, Matteo, any updates from the CPC?
The main one that it's useful for everybody is that after the trademark of JSConf has been donated to the foundation, we are busy. The board is busy in approving the budget for it. So if everything goes to plan, we will be able. The foundation will be able to soon announce date of the conference. So I am really looking forward for this. So can't wait. And this is probably one of the biggest thing that is going to come in 2025. So finger crossed that this is happening.
Sounds good. Anything else? Or go ahead.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I'm actually like thrilled about this. Beyond that, the elections are open or closing. I missed the TSC meeting yesterday. Sorry, the CPC meeting yesterday. So I don't know if this was extended or if it closed. Ben, I don't know if you have any.
Yeah, it's unofficially extended. So we're still trying to get a couple more folks to self-nominate, and so I'm reaching out to a couple folks directly. I think we needed another impact nomination.
Another nudge on impact nomination. Anyway, regardless, thank you, Ben. And then I haven't looked at the issue in the Node.js repo about Matteo and I continuing, or if there's other folks who want to get involved, or where that stands.
No, was typing in the issue, looked as you were talking, and says, look like we are settled on Matteo and Joe continuing. So in terms of those, sounds good. And thanks for being willing to continue to do that.
Cool. Thank you. I think that's, I can't think of anything else from the TSC that's, warrants being discussed here. I don't know if Yeah, I just don't know if unrelated to that, but related to other things. I don't know if we should talk at all about the IBM Cloud account or anything around that, or just we'll work on that and figure it out.
Yeah, I think that would be more in the build working group
Okay,
until we
cool,
figure out the plan.
cool.
Okay. Any other announcements, or sorry, any more CPC or board updates? Okay, if not, we will move on to the issues that were tagged for the agenda. The first one, the heads up on the potential delay in the Mac OS infrastructure. I think we can close that one out in that, like, the release went out. I think in the end we didn't update to a version that would have required the new infrastructure, but I know the old infrastructure had problems, and I think Raphael, you had quite a long journey to getting the release out, and with help from Ryan and stuff to get some of the new infrastructure going.
Yeah, I just would like to thank all the folks involved. They were very helpful, and we were at first moment considering not releasing a macOS version because of time, but we could make it. So all available architectures are available to Node.js 23. So that's great.
Yeah, and many thanks to everybody who sort of worked on making that happen, because I know it was quite a late night. I can see from some of the messages in the channel last night. Okay, this release went out and included. The next one is lib add parser script types. I think Marco, you added that to the list.
Yeah, so the idea is that I wanted to create a new API to allow external loaders and package maintain authors to transpile TypeScript in the same way that we currently do in our module resolution. So the issue is that this API is a bit different from what we have right now, because we don't have a module that basically does code transformation without evaluating the code. So we have VM, which does code evaluation. We have a module with that basically it's the module resolution utilities. And then, like, this function is a bit in between. So my idea was to create a new module called parser. But there is like I think there are like different opinions. So I think there are like at least 4 or 5 different opinions in the PR, and Yagiz, I don't know if he's here today, blocked because he said that it should go into util. So there is this disagreement on where this new function should go. I think if we cannot get to agree, it will go to a vote.
Okay, so would you say for this week it's an FYI to the TSC to take a look and get involved, and that, like, if the conversation stalls out there, that you may propose, a vote may be proposed later on?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay, so that sounds good. If people could take a look, we will move on to the next one, which is the draft statement of work. Again, this is a little bit similar. In a meeting last time we had a meeting, we were talking about the CI test flakiness, and the agreement was, like, if we could, we would like to hire somebody to do some work to move that forward. I took the action to write up a draft statement of work, because there was like, hey, we need to sort of like quantify what the work would be. So I put the issue where I created that draft statement of work onto the in the issue, but Joey had some comments, but otherwise we haven't had too many. What I think we really need to get to as a next step is, like, does that look right to everybody? Reasonable if we were to propose, like, for example, if we go to the OpenJS Foundation and say, hey, could we get some funding to do this? Or if we were to go to candidates and say, like, who's interested, does this statement of work match what people think we should do? Should we be doing this? So I guess, I'll ask this week if people could take a look, comment, and I'll leave it on the agenda to see if like maybe next time we have enough consensus to move forward or not. Any questions on that one before I move on? Okay, the next one on the CPC reps closed as decision made. And then let's talk about the CI situation. I think our main next action was, when we had the discussion last week, was that draft statement of work. I don't know if there's anything else that people want to bring up this week on the CI side of things. I think if not, then I will say let's just leave on the agenda until next week. We'll see how the draft statement of work goes as we got a next step, and go from there. Then we do have gotten through fairly quickly. I'm going to then go to strategic initiatives. Stuck to get there. Okay, so, and I'm just going to look in terms of who's here. Chenzong, anything you want to share on Shadow Realm? If you're talking, you're on mute.
No update this week, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. In terms of next 10, I think the main thing I would mention is that we are starting to work on messages. Like in terms of the ambassador program, we're working on onboarding the first ambassador. There is another nomination, which we should probably take a look at to see if we can close out. But part of that was, defining some messages and topics that we would like people to promote. We would like the ambassadors to promote. So there's an issue there. We did some brainstorming, put that in, and I've tagged it so it'll show up for the next TSC agenda to get feedback from this group as well. So if you can think a little bit about that between now and then, that would be great. Chime into the issue, whatever. And then I think that takes us to the end of strategic initiatives where we have people here. So at that point, I'm going to ask if there is any other topics we should discuss before we move into a private section. Okay, well, if not, I'm going to say thanks to everybody who has been watching on the live stream, and we will see you in GitHub and next time.